All right, so I want to be pretty consistent with this series, of course, and I wasn't too sure what I was going to talk about today, but luckily I came across something, a YouTube video, well, first an Instagram account, and this person is Madeline Argy, and she's got like 2.2 million followers. And I was thinking, I haven't ever heard of this person before. Who is she? So I checked the Instagram account and it was just a bunch of pictures of her. So I was thinking, okay, well, influencer then, I'm thinking. Oh, she's got a YouTube. So you can see in the bio, she's got a YouTube. Oh, all right. Let's check out the YouTube. And there's nothing clear that's showing that she is like anything other than an influencer. It seems that she just has a social presence, social media presence, and that's it. So I checked out the most popular YouTube video by her, and it's titled How to Be Hot and Confident. So I was thinking, and of course, with context, this girl is very attractive, of course, and I mean she's got 2.2 million followers, so she has to be. So now she has a video titled like how to be hot and confident. All right, so I checked out the video, checked out the first few minutes. You can see the time spikes when how much the audience is captivated with the peaks and troughs. And so I checked out the first probably like 2 minutes because there was a little peak there, and she was talking about how attractiveness has nothing to do with your physical appearance. And immediately I was thinking, no way, this cannot be true. So I continue listening, and she's kind of just rambling on about how it was her experience that before she was all popular, she had it in her mind that she was the most beautiful, most hot, the hottest person on the planet. And I'm thinking, like, that, all right, you can think that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. And so to her credit though, she was saying that with this mindset, with this ultra basically egotistical mindset, you can manifest it. I at least that was my impression of what she was saying, that you can manifest hotness and confidence. I agree with confidence. I think confidence is definitely just a mindset, but hotness, I don't think you can do that. And okay, so then she kind of just kept on rambling, so I skipped ahead and checked out the most replayed moment, and I actually don't know why it was the most replayed. It was some random part where she just said, I love when my friends text me, and then she pulls out her phone, and then it cuts, and then she continues on with rambling. It made no sense. But my impression of that video was that she basically just talked about, I don't even know, like talked about herself and her experience being less attractive originally, and then now she's super attractive, and for some reason that has that I don't really know what her point was, honestly, but she just rambled on. I was thinking though, like, you definitely can't manifest hotness. You have to put in the work, and she clearly has. She's got a skincare routine. She's okay, maybe she doesn't go to the gym, but you see girls go to the gym and increase their attractiveness. There's there's a direct correlation with going to the gym and being more attractive. Now, there's a limit to that. So, of course, you have to take into account genetics. Like if you've just got the bottom of the barrel genetics and like I'm just gonna straight up say you look ugly. Oh, okay. So that was another thing that she pointed out. She said, I've never met anyone who's been ugly before. And I'm thinking, I have. I definitely have. And it sucks for them. If you're like younger, whether you're male or female, and you have alopecia, so like hair loss, but inconsistent hair loss, so some parts have hair on your head, but some don't, that's gonna suck, especially for girls too, where hair is such an important part of their beauty, right? Guys, I mean, what's funny is I went bald once. Like I actually just shaved my head completely. And yeah, it was annoying or okay, maybe not annoying. It was a new experience. I personally didn't like it. And I felt like it affected me in terms of confidence. But other than that, there was no downside. Like my self-esteem was basically the same, just confidence a bit lower, and I still I still felt like the same person. It didn't really change me. Now, with girls though, it's a completely different story because girls are so as a girl, you have to be focused on beauty because I mean, okay, this is yeah, so I'm just going to say this where it's like for guys, it's the archetypal thing that you see in red pill spheres, for example, where they say guys have to get status, money, and looks, and then you'll be able to get a girl. So go to the gym, get a bag of money, and I yeah, and status. So status is a bit harder to get because you need power, you need influence. How do you get that? Well, there are definitely ways to get that. Just know people, just be better at communication. I guess like what I'm trying to do. So that's for guys. And I believe that to be true because how else the hierarchy for a guy is based off of how prominent he can be as a mate. And I guess this is this is also true. So I can also prove this to be true since the 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 main purpose, the natural purpose of a human is to produce offspring. Okay, so that's the axiom that we're starting at. All right, so how is he going to produce this offspring? Well, he's going to mate. Okay, well then, how is he going to mate? Well, he's got to show that he can actually produce a valid offspring or support that offspring. So for guys, we obviously don't produce the offspring, but we would support the offspring. And that's why money is so important. Status would be important because you'd want the parents of this child would want this child to be in the best position possible. So if you have a lot of money, that's a good position. If you have a lot of status, that's also a good position. Looks looks is interesting because it's kind of like a perpetual cycle where if the if you're looking for a mate that looks good, the reason you want a mate that looks good is because you want a child to also gain those genetics of good looks. And that's because you want that child to have a mate who's able to then look good as well. It's just a cycle basically. And so I kind of got derailed from that whole topic, but going back to Madeline Argy, where she was talking about how it's just um damn, like you just manifest it, or oh right, like people can't be ugly. They definitely can. Girls, well, no, both guys and girls can definitely be physically ugly. And I mean, what she was trying to say was where you can be ugly physically, but you seem like as you get to know a person, I guess the looks don't matter. And that's that is true. That's definitely true. So I remember hearing, or I think maybe even reading a study where no, it was definitely hearing. I barely read any studies. So I heard where it was something after like 9 months when you're talking with a, I guess we'll say viable mate. So when you're in a relationship with someone, so friends, like let's say male, female friends, and like let's say, oh my goodness, this is such a convoluted example, but let me just, you're a male attracted to females, and so you have a female friend. After 9 months, the looks won't matter. So usually, I've talked with my friends about this, and I've asked them what really what really stands out. Why how could you have a female friend? And the biggest thing, at least to me, is attractiveness. Like why wouldn't a female friend be your girlfriend? If she was such a good friend, there's no reason she wouldn't be a girlfriend. So the one answer is, well, she's not actually that good of a friend. I would rather hang out with my guy friends than I would with her. But if that's not the case, and you wouldn't want to be, and the male wouldn't want to have a relationship with this female, then it'd be, I believe, the only other reason would be because that person isn't attractive. The girl isn't attractive. So then after 9 months, as I said, looks don't matter. Or looks, they essentially do not matter at all. So now you're at this point where it's like, you will likely develop feelings for this girl from the male side. Okay, that rant's over, but now, okay, man, I'm derailing so much, but going back to Madeline Argy, she's saying, yeah, she's saying like these points, but I think she has to be way more clear about it, because you can't just say like hotness doesn't matter, physical attractiveness doesn't matter. It's just a mindset. No, no, disagree completely. Cannot be true. So then she also goes on about talking about personalities, as I was kind of maybe mentioning, where if you have a really attractive person, but portray they give off bad energy, so in the form of like being grumpy, moody, unreceptive, cold, that would be a massive turnoff, and you'd see a complete switch where you don't even find them attractive anymore. And I've had this happen, not just talking with girls, but also with guys, where it's like this guy would seem really cool as a friend, and then you start talking with him and he just doesn't want to talk back. It's like, wow, that sucks. Like, it seems like we have the same interests and everything, and you seem like a cool guy, but then you really just you don't even reciprocate. So, and again, yeah, obviously this is this is true for girls as well, where personally I've had it where there's like there's a really attractive girl. No, this is pretty common too, where there's a super attractive girl, and then you see that she has bad, you could say bad habits, but also just bad social skills, bad energy. Like where you try to initiate a conversation, where you try to talk with this girl, and then she just shuts you down by not directly, but by answering your questions with one word. That is annoying, and people do that. And if people are going to do it, then there's not, like, conversations are a two-person task. You can't, it's not really possible to carry a conversation. The other person has to be willing to have a conversation as well. All right, so now I'm kind of moving on to my ending points, where there are, so I remember talking with a female friend actually about this. We were talking about dating just in general. It was in a group where, yeah, like male and female friends in this group. And so we were talking about dating and how guys have it tough because they have to go approach girls. And I, man, as a guy having to approach girls, yes, it's not okay. It's tough, but it's just a fact of life. And I mean, it's doable. Like, you can do it. It's not hard. And it's fun, even. I find it fun, at least. Even if you get rejected, it's still learning. It might hurt, but I think it's worth it, and I still find fun out of it. For girls, though, I didn't really consider the situation much until this female friend pointed it out, where she was saying that I wish I was a guy because then I could ask out people. I was thinking, what? Why why would you want to be a guy and go through all the pain of rejection and go through trying to find a mate while you could just be a girl and just accept offers just given to you? And I think about it more and I understand where she's coming from. So if you're not in this There are girls that are extremely attractive and they probably get asked out like 5 times a day. Like that's just that's just life for them. But if you're not in this, and even worse, one of your friends is, you're gonna have serious self-esteem issues, and that's just a pathway for depression. I mean, I don't know if you can really do much other than change your mindset, but it's still rough on you. I would suck. That would suck to be in that position. I would hate it. But as I was saying though, girls have to wait for a guy to approach them. Girls have to wait for somebody to ask them. And that's what she was getting to, but like if you think about it even more, girls can technically ask out guys. Like it's happened before. It's happened where a girl can ask out a guy. Let me just see if I can get this focused. Oh man. Come on. Uh, okay. Girls can still ask out guys. I know it's unconventional, but as a girl, you'd have crazy high success rate. You see these YouTube videos where it's like girls ask out guys in public and they get like a 90%, 95% success rate where it's like the guy will say yes to a date. It's not hard. Like as a girl, dating is not hard. But maybe it's that 5% guy that you wanted on a date and he just says no. He just won't say yes in any situation because you're just not attractive enough. That's where it sucks. And as I was saying earlier, guys pride themselves in status. And through status you get, or through money, and I would say I would say looks as well, you can achieve a relatively high status. But with girls, and you can build that up too. So, as I said, working out, you can put in time to work out and you will output physical attractiveness. Now, depending, like you have to, what I was trying to get at before was you have a baseline. Like you're born with these genetics and they might place you up here or down here, but regardless of where you are, it will, working out will boost your physical attractiveness. Now, what's funny actually, slight side note, I personally think there is a diminishing return where there is a point that if you keep on working out, if you keep on building muscle, you will actually be less attractive. Exceedingly rare, um, really hard to get to that point, I would say as well. But that's just my personal opinion. I haven't really, I've asked people about this, but I've asked only one person really, but my friend doesn't agree with it. He just says get as big as possible. That's all you want, right? But no, as I don't know, intuitively for me, I wouldn't want my girlfriend to be a supermodel, if that makes sense. Like sure, she would look nice, but it it wouldn't it just it doesn't seem not even realistic. It just doesn't make sense. She just wouldn't seem compatible. She wouldn't seem girlfriend material if that makes any sense. So the same thing with guys. If you're too jacked, like if you're a monster, if you're Arnold Schwarzenegger level jacked, obviously not. But even naturally peak jacked, the most jacked you can get naturally, I think even there you're reaching some point of diminishing return. I could be wrong too, but I think on average this would be true. I definitely have to collect some data. Yeah. So I think the point that I was making was right. Going back to yeah, so guys can increase their physical attractiveness. You can increase your money, obviously. Just work a job, provide value to society, and charge money for that value and or for that service, and you'll get money. But then it comes to girls, and it's like how can they increase themselves along the mating hierarchy? How can they increase their status as a woman? The only thing that comes to mind personally, well, actually, now that I think about it, there's two things. The biggest one would be beauty, so just looking good. Okay, so you've got skincare routine, you've got like hygiene as well. Okay, so showering, but just basic hygiene, right? You just have to not smell bad, and you're okay. Even if you smell good as a girl, I feel like it. Maybe it's just that girls wear way too much perfume, but whether a girl has perfume or not, I don't. It doesn't change my opinion of her attractiveness. So beauty, and then you've also got personality. And interestingly, I don't think that's what too many guys look for, or at least it's not as highly regarded as beauty is. So, a super attractive girl can get away with a bad personality, but a girl with a really good in general settings, a girl with a really good personality can't really get all that she wants lacking beauty. I think there's also a lot of leeway here. So, this is a pretty black pilled, I guess, red pilled idea and topic, but there's definitely leeway where, as I was saying, like a girl can just approach a guy and they'll get it. And now dealing with the 5%, the, the guy that you actually want as a girl, I would say the hope there would be getting close to that guy, developing an emotional bond, developing a relationship, a friendship, basically, at least initially. But then I think from that, you'll be able to develop a true relationship, a true romantic relationship, where the guy will develop feelings for you. definitely easier than said than done. But I've as a guy I've had it where it's very hard to tell if I'm into this girl or if she's just if I find her attractive or if I just find her to be a good friend. And honestly, to this day, I can't really answer that. I think it's such a gray area. And knowing that as a girl, and I guess also as a guy, it works both ways. Where you can push that bound, you can push that friendship bound where it's you're just friends, but then it's like, oh, we're really close friends. Oh, actually, I like you. Yeah, I think a lot of this reminds me of